Now we head to the northern region, an unfortunate incident over there. About 300 acres of maize, cowpea and soybean farms belonging to Tibza Farms, one of the largest commercial farms in that region, have been destroyed by bushfire. With the onset of the dry season, more of these bushfires are expected. What's worrying is that these bushfires are sometimes triggered by activities of hunters. Northern Region correspondent Martina Bugui visited the farm to assess the extent of damage.
For a good harvest after several months of toil and labor and over 600,000 Ghana cedis invested on this farm with the hope of raking in. But that has turned into ashes now. It's an annual ritual each year where thousands of farmlands get burned due to bushfires, threatening the livelihood and food security of many households in the northern region. We are here at Tibza Farms, where several acres of crops were burnt last Saturday. We are here to meet Mr. Sentarum Hammer, CEO of Tibza Farms. Now, we got hint that your farm got burnt. We decided to come to the farm and see how much or the extent of damage. Tell us how much you did and then how much is gone.
Over here at Tibza, we do close to 500 acres of maize and soybean production, as well as pigeon pea and cowpea. Sometime later, last week, we had fires which devastated the whole farms. We looked at, we estimated about 300 acres are gone. We had over 200 people helping us to actually put off the fires from 9:30 in the morning to almost midnight. And unfortunately, the fire overcame us.
He says he was expecting so much after a good yield this year.
We invested close to 700,000 Ghana cedis, about 696,000 Ghana cedis on the whole project. And we expected to bring in a couple of $1 million, Ghana cedis rather, as a result of good harvest. We were set for it, we were ready for it, we did all that we could. And as you could see around, we actually did fire bells around the whole 500 acres of land. But the fire was so intense that we couldn't stop it. But the investment is quite substantial. And for me, it's not just my own investment, but the flow-on effect to the community. Because the people that we also support is quite a reasonable number. And the people that actually work here, as I said, every year we have not less than 150 people working on these farms every year. So for me, that is the livelihood of those people who have been cut off.
Farmers who borrow from banks pay up to 30% interest, which makes funding of agriculture a huge challenge. Even with a huge interest, it's still difficult to access loans. Mr. Sentaru talks about this.
We could have gained a lot. One of the challenges in agricultural development, especially in the northern region, particularly for commercial agriculture, is the lack and unavailability of accessible and affordable financing. In other words, if you had the finance and it's accessible, it's also affordable, then you can invest in the right equipment to be available at the right time. Because when you move away from smallholder farming in terms of production to commercial farming, you need specific and appropriate equipment to be available at the right time. And those equipment for commercial farmers, we are still at infancy, so we are still growing. So if those equipment were to be made available, then you can go in and harvest at the right time.
Can't you people begin to engage government so that laws that are meant to stop bushfires are enforced? Because we all see these hunters each year come in and they board vehicles from Tamale and elsewhere and they come into these communities. It is done in the open, so why can't we stop it?
I think it's a challenge, and I must admit and actually give a very good thank you to the regional director of EPA, Mr. Abu Idris. He has been instrumental in supporting us in terms of awareness, in terms of sensitization. But among other things, I think, like you said, stakeholders like the security services, they have a significant role to play. Our chiefs have far more important roles to play, because they are the custodians of this land. And if the land kept, being depleted as a result of bush burning, the significant impact or negative impact on agriculture in northern region is unmeasurable.
Sank about 600,000 Ghana cedis, and this is all they could salvage from the 300-acre farm. For JoyNews, Martina Bugi reporting from Tulga Farm in the Miang district of the northern region.